just one more thing really about that copper. It would have been quite easy for him to check that number. They're in touch with each other, of course they are. So he would have rather let me stew and worry with all the crap going on. I'm sitting here worrying whether I'm going to be arrested any minute or not, if I thought it was real. But I knew it wasn't. But what if it was someone else, someone vulnerable? I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to be arrested any minute. This is what he said, and he's got a crime number and everything. And, some people would think that number looks legit, but not me. But a lot of people probably would and think, oh shit. So that copper, when I asked him, can you find out if this is a legal number or not? I can't comment on anything outside of the Birmingham forces. Of course, he could have easily checked. Could have easily checked. Just phoned London, like I did. I did it in a couple of seconds. So he would have, if he was any good, he would have done that. He would have said, let me check that. At least rest assured that's, you don't have to worry about that. But he didn't. He didn't comment. And when I took the initiative myself and came up with the idea of ringing them myself, he doesn't like it. I got this big snotty email today. Like he's basically saying, we're enemies now. Don't speak to me as a friend, and I'm not going to be speaking to you as a friend. Just give me the information when you've got it, and I'll give you the information when I've got it. So if that's his behaviour, I want him off. If he's going to start behaving and treat me like that, I will complain about him, and I'm going to say he's not helping me. I prefer a woman officer or something. I find the women much nicer, actually. Even when you ring, they go into detail and they give you the information and they're really helpful. And it was the woman that said to me in the first place, oh, this is terrible, you need to make a complaint, this is criminal. And then it was a woman yesterday who said, this is malicious, I'll email that copper in Birmingham and tell him that. And he just didn't like that. So, if possible, I would try, if you ever have anything to deal with the police, try get a woman. It won't be perfect, but it'll be a big percentage better, I think, than talking to a man. They're fuckers, just want to brush you out of the way and don't want to know, don't listen. They just don't care. So, and I did say to him, what are you people doing all day? I said, one officer told me you're picking up kids on 12-year-old kids on bikes. I said, is that what you're doing? So that's why he didn't like me. But he just infuriated me yesterday, and I can't hold back sometimes. I have to say it as it is. And when you say it as it is, it cuts them much deeper and much harder, and they don't like it. Because I say it, I can make a point in one sentence that could cut someone to the bone, because it'd be smack on, bang on, and they know I'm right, and they can't there's no comeback. And it just irritates the life out of people. They want to go for your throat, but they can't. So that's what I tend to do. And I think that's why I annoy people, because I'm bang on with the truth all the time, and I can say it in one or two sentences. I have that knack. I've always had that knack since I was a child. It got me into so much trouble all my life. And in school, mum and dad, everybody. And as, I don't know, I don't know if they know or not, I don't really drink, just occasionally a glass of wine here and there, a beer now and again. I'm not a drinker, so the Irish people drink an awful lot, especially when there's a party or if they go out. It comes back to the house, and anyone comes back in gangs of people and bring back beer, and there's a big party, and then at the end of the night, usually arguments start over stupid things. And I was always the one the next day to say, no, you didn't say that, she said that, she said this. And it would either cause loads more arguments or it would make the peace. And because I was always the one who remembered everything in detail, and it's still the same today. Because I've got a photographic memory, and I can remember exactly what was said, when, where, what time, everything. It's weird. And it's not in my mind all the time. I have to search. Like the other day, it's really weird how you find out information. As my friends would probably know, we were having this issue with the neighbours. Now they own that house next to it, house next to it. So it's 3, and there's us, and they own 2 that way. All same family, fucking 30 of them in each house. So big court case. They got my brother to sign. Basically, they tried to steal the house off my brother. This is what it was all about. I was like, you fucking idiot, don't sign anything. Anyway, long story short, I had to take him to court, took 2 years, which so I'm still here. We couldn't sell the house, couldn't do nothing, because they did something. They had a friend at the land registry, friends all over the place, bent lawyers, bent everything. Everything was bent. So we had to report this to the fraud people. They looked into it, and we don't know what happens out of your hands. They don't give you information. But we won the court case anyway, so now it's free. But anyway, I haven't spoken to them. When I heard that news, my brother actually told me after a year, I was fuming because I was chopping down weeds and I had a machete. I was chopping down big things, I had a machete. And I would have chopped his head off. I'm not joking, I was that angry. And my brother had to take the machete off me because I was screaming, come out, you fucking robbing, dirty fucking robbing bastard, come out! And I was banging on his door and I was like, come out, you fucking bastard, I'm going to kill you, come out, come out, come out. Anyway, he wouldn't come out. Anyway, they were hiding for months and I calmed down. But it's been ongoing and they've been taunting us, we've been taunting them, and it's been fucking a nightmare. Anyway, hosing the garden the other day, this woman peeps her head over the fence. Hello, I'm your neighbour. I said, oh, hi. She said, oh, your garden's looking beautiful. I said, oh God, it was a hell of a lot of work. I said, Peter didn't do anything while I was away, so it's taken me ages, but it's actually looking decent now. And she was like, are they roses? Is that a crawler going up? I've got this lovely crawler of purple flowers. It's come out really beautiful, all hanging down the walls, lovely. Is that a crawler? And I'm thinking, you're the only crawler I can see around here. But I was polite. And then she said to me, I was here when you moved in. And I said, really? What, in the 70s? She said, yeah. She said, I remember you. You must be Marie, I think she said. Oh, you Peter's sister. You must be Marie. I said, yeah. She said, I was here when you moved in. Now, I looked at this woman. I moved here when I was 16. It would probably make her about 80. She looks about 35. So, I was thinking to myself, it's possible, I suppose, she could have been small. She said, I remember. I said, you actually remember that? I said, God, you must have put up with a lot. I said, there was a lot of us and we had friends that come over, so there's normally... I said, you must have put it up a lot with us over the years. All of us, we all have friends. There must have been 20 people in the house at a time. And so I was chatting away anyway. And thank you, bye. And I'm sitting here thinking, I went and told my brother what she said. And he said, you should have bloody said that she'll never get the house. When she said it was nice and looking lovely, you'll never bloody get it, and saying things like this. So I'm sitting lying out in the sun again. And I'm thinking back to when I was actually 16 when I moved here. And there was an Irish woman living there with her son. That suddenly came to me, Mrs. Murphy. So I went into my brother. I said, do you remember Mrs. Murphy and her son? He says, Adrian. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I said, they lived next door when we moved in. He says, yeah, and those 2 dodgy blonde guys, I think they were FBI or something. And I says, what? He says, those are the 2 blonde guys, like twins, I think they were FBI. I said, what do you mean? Because she used to have lodgers and had rooms to let, because the houses are quite big here, so, you know, some people did let them out. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I'm thinking, 2 blonde guys. So I came back out, I was sitting in the garden. Now, when people come forward with sort of information about UFOs, they ask you, do you remember being followed at all? And I do. And one of them was an old man. I don't know if he's old, but he always reminded me of Lester Pickett. I always had him in my mind. I don't know why. Maybe he looked like him, but with the Fisher hat and small. And it's funny because my granddad had a lot to do with horses and race horses, so I did actually meet a lot of the jockeys, Lester Pickett and Eddie Mackin and all them, years ago in the ODS doing show jumping in Dublin. My granddad used to train show jumping horses. So that's why Lester Prickett was probably my mum. This man was everywhere I went. And then I got all the kids to throw stones at him and call him a weirdo and chase him away. But I remember he chased me and my friend. I don't know if it was my sister or my friend. I can't remember. I don't think it was my sister because she couldn't run that fast. I was a really fast runner, so I imagine it was my friend because we legged it. And he chased us and chased me. We got really scared because he chased us through this underpass. And then, but by that time all the kids knew he was a weirdo, get away weirdo, and he never was seen again. Then after that, there was these two blonde guys. I remember them as really good looking, like they looked American from California, like you see on TV. In Dublin you didn't see anyone like that years ago. So they were like twins, short blonde, back in size, lovely clean cut. They always wore white shirt and black trousers and a tie, or sometimes a jacket and tie. So well, my brother said that they live next door. That was in Dublin. They were following me till I was about 15, and then they stopped following me. But I used to say to my mum, "Who are those? These blonde men keep following me. It's scary. Who are they? Who are they?" And my mum said, "Oh, don't worry. They're probably Mormons." But they were everywhere, weirdos. They looked the same, and they were just weird. I think maybe sometimes they wore hats, I don't know. But I used to see them. We had this big adventure playground up in the fields, behind the fields. We used to go up there. It was huge, big, massive swings and things, and it was really rough combat stuff and all that. So I used to go up there with my friends. We used to play up there. And they were always behind the tree, watching me, and I'd say, there they are again, and there they are again. So my sister saw them. She brought it up a couple of times. Do you remember them two blonde ones that used to follow you? And they'd follow me, but they didn't follow anybody else when I wasn't there, but they would follow all of us if I was there. So then my brother said that the other day. I was gobsmacked. I said, "Okay, don't say anything. Let me describe these guys to you and tell me if these are the same guys." And I described them to a T, identical. And he said, "Yeah, that's them." I thought, this is fucking weird. And then when I was in Arizona, same thing, went over there at Miles, there's these two blonde guys there. I was there for about 5-6 days, conference last, and these two guys were just always there in the background watching me, two blonde guys, and they looked like twins as well. These reminded me of these two guys from when I was young. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is weird. They just kept sitting in the background. So I searched through all my photos, and they are in about 3 photos, but in the background, sitting there watching me and laughing. I was doing some antics behind Nick Pope's back and got someone to take pictures, and they just happened to be in the background laughing. And it's the same two guys. And funny enough, on the last day, I think there's a cocktail party at the conference. I booked one of those, and we booked those tickets, so you can ask people to sit at your table. So I asked Stanton Friedman, Grant Cameron, and a few others, Miles and Joanne, of course. And then he squeezed Kaz Bolton. I didn't want him at the table. We had to squeeze a chair in for him. I didn't want him at the table, but anyway, I picked people that I wanted to talk to, genuine people. And it's funny, out of the people that I picked, they won the Best Achievement Awards. They both won awards, the two people that I picked, Grant and Stanton Friedman. So the cameras were on our table. But anyway, I went out to have a cigarette. There's a few people out there, just sitting there on my own. And who should walk over with these two blonde guys? And I remember they were really nice. I can't remember what we talked about. They were really nice, chatting away. Perfect teeth, perfect everything. Perfect physique, perfect. Just... I just perfect. Like you don't see normally somebody with everything, very well groomed, dressed lovely. And I think Elara Blackwell, she did an interview with Miles, a super soldier. I actually let her stay in my room one night because I let Joanne use my room because it was a big double room. We had 2 queen size beds, so she wasn't going to be able to come. So I said, because she couldn't afford the hotel, so I said, look, I'll request a big room. Make sure we get 2 beds. It'll be no problem. I don't mind sharing. So that's what I did, and I paid for a flight as well. Because Miles didn't want Joanne coming. Just didn't want. He was I was gutted when I brought her and said, I'll do it, I'll pay, we'll work around it. So Joanne went off the night somewhere to a friend, and her room was her bed was empty. So Laura Blackwell was there talking to her, she did an interview full of shite again. Another Casbold daydreamer. She was in the military for a couple of months and was let go on medical grounds, and she's got all these stupid stories to tell. Anyway, that's another story. Don't want to start slagging anyone off, but I was happened to be talking to her, and she noticed these guys as well, and she was going, oh wow, look at them two, one for you, one for me, sort of thing. So I let her stay in my room. She was riding a bike, and she was going to have to leave early. Miles was saying, come for a drink, why don't we go to the bar, the nightclub's there, we'll all have a laugh last night, sort of thing. And she said, I can't, I've got a ride back, it's 4 hours or something like that. And I said, hey, listen, I said, my room, my bed is empty, I've got a bed empty, John's away for the night, you can use that. So that's what happened. But I was talking to the last thing I remember, I was talking to these two guys, went out for a cigarette. I remember they were really nice, having a really good laugh. That's all I remember. And then coming back to my room about 6 a.m. and Laura Blackwell, she'd left already. She'd got up and left, and her helmet and old bike and all that was gone. She just left. And not left a note of thanks or anything. Never heard from her again. But that I don't remember what happened in those few hours, but it wasn't anything terrible. I don't believe they rugged and raped me or anything like that. Nothing like that. But I believe they were, I don't know, ETs or something, and friends, not enemies, because I felt really happy afterwards. But they just spook you and they just keep following you like that. But another thing as well, there's another part of it. I was in California. I've got relatives in California. I was over there 1 year, and with my cousin Mike, years ago they bought plots of land out in the desert outside California. All bought loads of plots, they're gotten really cheap, but now it's like in California, so they've got this great land and built lovely houses and, you know, huge places. So at the time, my cousin had only just bought this place. There was only 2 people living up there, and the neighbour was miles away. He had a big fence around his whole property, big property, skateboard ramps for the kids and everything, you know, everything for the kids. And my mum was there, Jean and me, my brother, a few of us were all sitting outside having a smoke, you know. And then nobody comes down, it's a private road, nobody comes down, drives down this road. Suddenly my cousin spotted these 2 lights coming really slow down the road. And then they went off. So we said, got everybody in. And he went in and got his gun. So we all went in. What's wrong? He says, just get in, don't worry. And he actually went down to the gate. It's all surrounded by wire and a gate and everything. He went down and this car pulled up. And he's like, oh, you know, what are you doing down here? It's a private road. Why have you got your lights off? You know, this sort of thing. Started questioning them. And they just said, sorry, we got lost. We took a wrong turn. They didn't explain why they had the lights off. They just said we were maybe afraid to scare you or something like that. But something dodgy. And when he described them, he said there were 2 blonde guys wearing black suits. Same 2. That night. And the arrangements were, the sleeping arrangements, they said I could sleep in with Gina and my other little niece. They were only kids, 5 or 6 at the time, it was a big double bed. Or they said if it gets too bad, there's this lovely bed settee, we'll make it up for you in the dining room. We'll make it up anyway, because I think they knew what Lindsay slept like, because oh my god. So I said, oh no problem, I'll jump in with the kids. My mum was in another room, everybody was in different rooms. So I went in with the kids. I tried for an hour and a half to get to sleep. I was black and blue. They were kicking, punching. I was at the end of the bed and I was on the side. They fell out and I thought, no, I can't deal with this, so I'll go and sleep in this other room. So I went into the bed in the dining room, slept in there. And then all night long I heard my cousin coughing and choking. Now I thought he was pretending, to be honest, because the Americans, they are a little bit over dramatic when they've got a cold. And I thought, he's acting, he's trying to wake me up to this, keep me up all night, have a chat. Because that's what they were doing, and I was knackered, and I thought, no, I'm going to pretend to be asleep. So I pretended to be asleep, and eventually I did actually fall asleep, even though he was coughing and spurt. The next morning they were saying, oh, Mike was taken to the hospital last night. And I said, well, they said, oh, he's out now, he's alright. He had some sort of really weird allergy attack They don't know what it was, but he was definitely allergic to something, and his windpipe was closing off. He couldn't breathe, and the ambulance came. But I missed all that because I was so exhausted. So that's what happened. Same two guys. So you can imagine my shock the other day when my brother said, "Oh yeah," and the two blonde guys from next door. We think they were FBI or something. We think they were FBI or something. So no one bothered to tell me. Great family I have.